Shamps and giggles. History, news, views, and reviews from a black perspective. Shamps and giggles back for 2024. Oh my lord. Welcome, one and all to another fabulous evening. Shamps and giggles in the building. Hey, it's Friday. We're doing our usual heart the taste. And yeah, so just following on the conversation, sick note society, and then a fit note. And Sunak's talking about, and what it reminded me of is David Cameron, this same thing he did, 10 years ago. He started attacking the disabled people, and was talking about their disability. And I mean, come on, don't touch the wealthy. We know they're tax avoidance, tax evasion, all the rest of it, and all doing their share. They always go after the vulnerable, the sick, the people that aren't able to have a voice.
Yeah. Sorry, Dee was going to say something. No, she's not going to say anything. Yeah, we was talking about it actually, and it's quite sad because it just feels as though there's another attack. Like I was going through, they don't get much money. People who are claiming, people who are off sick, because after a while you don't get full pay. So when they're off sick, they're off sick. This is not, they're not looking for free money, they're looking to get well again. But it feels as though somebody said, this government really wants us to work and work and work until we're no longer. And they will do it whichever way they can. And it's really sad. So, yeah, Rishi Sunak and his speech, I didn't really listen to it. Watkinson's was giving us an update on it. But just a bit about it, which is what they was talking about. So Rishi Sunak plans to cut sickness benefit bill, prompts charity fury, they're saying in the news. Because what they want to do now is they want to give, see, this sickness culture, there's these are all tied in, by the way, sickness culture, and there's GPs as well. So, GPs giving us sign off the sick notes. He wants to no longer give that to
the GPs. He's sending it on to
GPs. They want to give it to nurses, physiotherapists, and other health professionals to make that decision. And yeah, I can understand. He says, so GPs used to be the only healthcare professionals able to sign a sick note. In 2022, this was widened to include nurses, occupational therapists, pharmacists, and physiotherapists.
Crazy. Mr. Sunak attacking the poor, the vulnerable. The sick notes has increased significantly since lockdown, they're saying, 8.7 million to now above 11 million sick notes are going out. Now, the doctors is taking it away from them because obviously they don't want to refuse their patients and they don't want to lose their patients. Because doctors get paid just because your name's on the book. Just because your name is on their book, they get some money. Much less when you go to them for whatever ailment, they'll shove a load of pills, tablets, and as many as they can down your throat, because that's how they get paid. So obviously he doesn't want to disrupt that. So rather than the doctors having to deal with a sick note, he's gonna farm it off to somebody else. Who's got no heart, got no relationship to you. So when they say you can't have it, well, you're not, whatever you do, you're doing it. You're not going to be, the money's not going to be lost for the doctor. I mean, come on, it's absurd. Sick note culture, they call it, or and allegedly, hold on, wait, didn't Keith just bring up last week, where there was a crime syndicate or crime people that got away with how many million?
like these are things that some of the stories are all linked, I feel, in that these now there's another story just before I go any further, and which we can go into. I'm going to give you another part of another story. Is that last week they were talking about um, carers who were losing their carers allowance because, on one hand, for example, I'll give you a figure, they were getting a care allowance for £81, for example, a week, for example. But they could work as well. They had an allowance, they could take care of their family member, and they get the carers allowance. They were allowed to earn a certain amount of money, let's say £100 a week, they could earn. And if they earn above that, they would lose their allowance. Now, what's happening is that people earn, let's say, £1 above the allowance per week, so £100, 101 they were earning, which resulted in them losing the benefit and having to pay back all of the money they were given as an allowance. So if you were given an allowance over a certain period of time, let's say 8 weeks, let's say 10 weeks, that's £800, for example. You got paid back £800 rather than just the £1 extra that you over-earned.
Right.
So a lot of news about that over a few weeks about that. And now you're talking about, so these people are going through stress and depression because they've got no money, they've got a sick person. There's not much money, 80 something pounds, not a lot of money. Compared to that, if they had to be looked after by a nurse or looked in a home or looked over after in a hospital. Right. So then you've got on top of that now, sick people who are signed off sick from work. What we're going to do now, Rishi says, let's monitor that and withdraw the GPs from signing you off sick, and let's give it to the nurses or all these other professionals to decide whether or not you actually are sick.
Well, they're not going to decide if you're sick or not. They're going to say you got to go work. That's it. That's why he's getting these people in, to tell you to go to work. It's not. We need the default becomes not what you can't do, but what can you do. So you go to the doctor, you say you're sick. Oh, doctor, I can't go to work. Okay, what can you do? Big up Clarity in the building. Spice Watkins in the building. Natural Mystic in the building. Sophia in the building. I mean, they're asking what can you? So you're sick and you lift your arm. And then they're going to tell you, well, you can do this or you can do that. I mean, who wants to hear that? If I'm sick, I don't want you telling me none. You know what? To be fair, my blood pressure will go up. You know, when the red mist starts coming, you're sick, you know. And they're going to tell you what you can. I mean, that's going to make you more sick. That's going to that's going to bust a vein in your head. You're going to go ballistic, and then next thing you know, they'll have security at the at the doctor's surgery, because people are just going to kick off. What do you mean? What can I do? It's the cheek of it. I mean, come on. It's just absolutely ridiculous. But again, it just irks me. They go after the poor. I mean, there's plenty money out there. They don't go after the rich. Every time they go after the poor. And why I remember David Cameron did it with the disability, because over there near where I live, North Acton, they used to have a place called Remploy. It's sort of re-employ. And what that company did, it only employed disabled people, typically blind and with other disabilities, only employed disabled people. And Cameron shut it down. He shut the bad boy down. He shut it down. I couldn't believe it. It had been there for years. He shut it down. What's there now? It's got one of them store. No, yeah, the big yellow. No, Shergard Storage, and Shergard Storage is over there now. And well, obviously now over there in Northampton they've got Pure Towers up there. But yeah, he shut it down. So where are these blind people, right? Where are they gonna go? I mean, the place was called Reemploy. So at least they were working, earning a little cross, not living off the states. The guy shut it down, and there was a few other bit, just a direct attack on disability. And here we are, 10 years later. Have the Tories changed, or is their story still the same? Attacking the people with their sick note, with their fit note, with their carers allowance. I mean,
yeah, it's the vulnerable people who are affected, isn't it? And the vulnerable people don't have the voice. They can't do anything about it. I mean, even going back to we're talking about the benefits as well, which we'll go on to in a moment. But talking about those who are sick, I can understand that in some industries, public sector, there are people who are long-term sick, and I think this is what he's focusing on. And what happens is, I think, is that people, I mean, the public sector is the biggest employer in the UK. The National Health Service is the biggest employer in the UK. There's a lot of sick people who are off for long-term sick. And, it's funny that, at one point people were clapping their hands for nurses and what have you. And
nah,
people, but these
yeah,
people are the ones who are off sick because they're off stress. People working in the health sector, governmental agencies, etc. They're the ones that are generally off a lot sick. Some of us who probably work in private sector enterprises, we don't get the level of sickness there is. And then when we do come off sick, sometimes people get as little as 1 week sick, and then you go straight onto statutory sick pay, or is phased down, depending on where you work, down to statutory sick pay. Nobody wants to be, if you're working in a good job, on statutory sick salary. They don't want to be on there. They want to be better. So if you are off sick, you're off sick.
right.
So penalising them, I don't get it. I don't get it. It just puts people under more stress.
There is a reason, if you're claiming, half the time you don't want the benefit. You don't want to be a benefit. You don't want to be, as it were, because what they do is they tarnish you to discourage you from applying in the first place. And by the way, it does work. It does work. And that's why they're doing it, because just them putting it on the news and all the rest of it discourages people from applying. You don't want to. You literally have to convince yourself. I've been paying my taxes for so many years. I've been working. I mean, if I'm sick and I claim a little bit, I mean, I've earned it. You literally have to convince yourself to go down there, because this is a tactic, discourage you from applying. Tim J, you got your hand up. Come in, talk the things.
Blessings, everyone. I think you can sign yourself off for a week without having to speak to your employers. And then after that, it's usually 2 weeks before you then go to, that's when you have to get a doctor's note. After that, depending on your employers, you will go on to statutory sick pay. Now, I think that Mr. Sunak, I will call him that just to be respectful, is after the people who every Monday and every Friday are sick. I don't think it's really aimed at those people who are, I think there is the other end of the spectrum, the long-term sick thing, but it's those people that are short-term sick, like Monday on the Friday. They don't need to get a sick certificate, but what it's trying to do is, I think there is a case, because there are people that, I know there's people that are off sick and there's nothing wrong with them. They're doing what they want to do. So there is that side of things.
Block, isn't they? They're broke.
They're broke, what do you mean?
Well, this money, £100 a week, is not going to do much for you. This, you know what I mean? Just might get on the bus.
Are you talking about the sick pay thing?
Yes. Benefits. People on benefits, they're not making a min. I mean, it's not a lot of money.
Oh, no, I'm not talking. Sorry, I missed it. I thought you were just talking about his general thing about wanting to have a review of the sick pay laws.
Yeah, sick pay and getting people back to work, because too many people claim sick benefit. But if you're sick, you're sick. That's why you're claiming it. You're not claiming it because you're well.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Those people that are properly sick, that's fine. But there's a lot of people that are not.
Well, how many? See, when you do the
I
number,
wouldn't like to say.
it's a small percentage. If there's 1,000 people sick, there's probably 5% bunking up. 95% are sick. So you're going to punish the 95%. This is what they do. Punish the 95% for the sake of the 5%.
Well, it's supposed to be, I think what we're supposed to do is to make sure that they don't leave the doctors out of it. Because at the moment, that's what it looks like they want to do. They want to leave it within some kind of administrative role, and it shouldn't be. It should stay within the health professionals, because they're the ones that know how to diagnose. They're the ones that are trained. They're the ones that will be able to determine. That's how it should be.
Well, the problem is the doctors make money when they prescribe you sick, give you signal for all the rest of it. So in their hands, they'll happily make you sick. If you take it out of their hands and give it to some private body who's paid to get you to work, then that body's going to get you to work. Whether you're sick, not sick. If you're depressed, well, if you get back to work, it's often known to help depression, whereas the doctor will give you a couple of pills, because that's how he makes money. So, I mean, Sunak does have a point in a certain regard. And let's just hear Sunak vows to end signal culture with benefit from. Let's just hear a little bit from what they're saying about this Sunak promises, or whatever his promise, isn't it?
Everything Hannah experiences daily started with a simple netball injury, aged 14.
Is there any element of your life that's just simple?
No, not really. I would say no.
And this unsimple life is expensive, reliant on personal independent payments, a benefit the Prime Minister said today he wants to launch a consultation on, a prospect that Hannah finds terrifying.
How easy is it to assess all of your needs?
I think unless you live with me, it's very hard. You know, you can see somebody one day and you see them, especially if somebody's got a fluctuating illness, you see them a different day. You're not going to have an idea. Like I probably present that I'm quite capable and able, but then you're not going to see when I'm having to, like, after I've spoken to you, that I'm going to have to go and have a lay down in bed and be exhausted, and what it's going to take out of me.
Change to the benefit system is coming though, says the Prime Minister, including, he says, a change in culture.
We don't just need to change the sick note, we need to change the sick note culture so that the default becomes what work you can do, not what you can't.
The Prime Minister claims benefits have become a, quote, lifestyle choice for some, causing a spiralling welfare bill. £17.6 billion for personal independent payments now, a cost expected to rise by more than 50% over the next 4 years.
This is not about costs, right? As I said at the beginning, if you just cared about costs, you can just freeze benefits. This is about recognising how central and important work is to people's lives.
Included in his plan, stripping GPs of their power to sign people off work and stripping benefits entirely for those still out of work after 12 months if they're not complying with conditions on accepting available work.
We think this is a full-on assault on disabled people and disability benefits.
Look, the Prime Minister said that reform's needed, but he's still committed to getting money to people who need it. So surely this is a good thing.
Potentially, those words are good, but it's couched in an announcement about how we drive down the total cost of the welfare system.
For Hannah, benefits, she says, aren't the things that stop her working, but the only thing that makes it possible to get there.
Well, there you are. Sunak, TMJ, hands up. At the things, a lot of mercy. 9.4 million people are inactive economically.
Joseph, my hand was up from before. I just lowered it. Sorry.
Oh, okay, just look. Yeah, 9.4 million people are aged 16 to 64 are economically inactive. An inactivity rate of 22% of the population. That's not 22%. If we're maybe it is. Maybe it is a fifth. We're what, 50 million strong in this country, 60 million, 10 million less. That's not 22%. That's more like 18, 17%. But yeah, so, a full-on assault against the disabled, against people that need help, against the vulnerable, against those who have no voice. And, coming from a prime minister who's married to a billionaire. How is he the one to understand what people are going through? I mean, who's he to talk? I couldn't imagine if anyone in their family was not well, they'd have assistants and carers and the whole 9 yards. Meanwhile, they would have stripped. So that means that if you get sick, y'all work right now, but if you get sick, by the time you land on benefits, if you get that far, good Lord, you better have some energy to claim. You better have some energy to even claim that bad boy. You're going to need help. The paperwork alone is going to be tick this, it's going to drive you insane. Talking to someone who's been on benefits, I was there. I needed help. I just couldn't. And that's what this is all about. It's subliminal messaging so that you never go there. And if you get there, it drives you nuts. At least your hand is up part the thing. WWQ, what does that stand for? Go, Alicia.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about, I don't know if we want to go to the next subject we were talking about, and we did touch it last week, and it was about the benefit frauds.
How many million them people there?
It was over, let's take a look, it was over 54 million. And they say that it was the UK's biggest ever benefit fraudsters who stole 54 million with 6,000 fake claims.
Wow.
And you just said, and we was talking about it, filling in that paperwork, it's like they want you to trip up wherever they can, so they can't give you the little 100 and something pounds or 300 and something pounds, 400 pounds a month to live off. So I don't know how these guys did it, and I don't know how the government
professionals
did. But think about it. I mean, could you imagine filling out and having to create all of these IDs? I did send in the amount how much people get. So the allowance that you get for universal credit. So if you're a single person under 25 years old, you get £311.86. If you're single and 25 and over, you get £393.45 a month. Yeah. And if you live with your partner, you're both under 25, you both get £489.23. And if you live with your partner and either of you are 25 and over, you both get £617.60.
To share.
No, so for it to reach to 53 million, 54 million, they must have been doing that for decades. Like, that's money.
And getting away with it.
And
that was the one that they caught, not to mention.
I mean, but the thing is that they'll catch you if you, let's for example, say you you don't pay your council tax. They'll catch you. Yeah, they'll know. No, it's not that. You didn't pay your council tax. Yeah. But when somebody might claim for this to go for as long as it had done, and it reached 50 million, 54 million pounds. No, something's not right.
Do they get that money back? No, that money gets shipped out to another country, because oftentimes it's people that have come in, they've learned the system, and then they just go to town,
rinse, repeat,
the money out to Algeria, Albania, wherever it is.
Yeah.
And, but is it now then, since they found those people, since they realized they lost all that money, they're trying to claw it back from the disabled people? Because they're not going out to the rich. They're not going out, they're trying to claw it back into the system by immediate answering. The payments going out on welfare is too much. It's not sustainable.
Yeah. It seems exactly what they're doing. They're trying to think, well, where can we get this money back from? Let's take a look at all these different pools we've got. We can't get it from rich guy who takes in X amount of million a year. No, let's go to the poor guy. The person hasn't got a voice.
won't argue, can't stand up for himself. Let's just take it back from him. They won't say nothing, and life goes on.
Yeah.
And really, that is what they do. Pinky's in the building. Yolan's in the building. Toots is in the building. Lord of his mercy, it is that evening of the week. We're chilled. By the way, guys, do pour yourself a drink. We're talking about the benefit system, how Sunak is taking away your right to be sick. I mean, fair enough, before you're even sick. So if you're dead at work, one day, you might stub your toe, broke your knee or whatever, you need to claim a little sick pay. It's already gone. He's taking it away already. You don't reach there yet. He might take you away. He's taking away the carer's allowance. Imagine if you wanted to look after your parent, you look after your little picnic, if you're, you know what I mean? And you're getting a little allowance. He's taking it away. He's taking it away. He's going to cut carer's allowance. You have to more than apply. He's going to make it a job for you to get your carer's allowance. If you're not, Lord of his mercy. This is what he's doing. He's going to make it a job. If you're thinking you're sick, he's going to make it a job for you to get the money. So he's going to cure the sick note culture, cure the fit note culture. He's going to say, we're not going to ask, what can't you do? We're going to ask, well, what can you do? Well, I can fill out these forms. That's a job, isn't it? It's going to make it a job to boot. Your lips are moving, but we're not hearing you. You need to unmute. If it is that you're talking to us, that is Boots, right? She's talking. Actually, her lips are moving. You know what I mean? He's gonna make it a job to apply. Have you seen those? Whoever's been on benefit, have you seen the notes already? Have you seen how much paperwork you have to go through in boxes? You have to check and check and tick and check and tick and check. A lot of it. No, he's just gonna make it work. He's gonna add some more. So you're at work now. When you're filling in them forms, he's gonna make it so you are at work. Guys, I'm told we have to go to break. We're gonna be back after these words. We're talking sick note culture, but also in the news is the artifacts that was sent back to Africa. We asked the question, is that good for Africa? Is it good? Africa for richer or for poorer? Will they benefit from those artifacts being sent back? Part the things is that day of the week. Lord of his mercy. Oh Lord, we are talking the text. We do this each and every week, live on radio.
Swear that